Let me go. Do not step on that patch of ground, Montgomery. He had every intention of doing just that, but he had other business to see to first. He stepped away from his brother and drew his sword, fully prepared to teach his brother not to meddle in affairs that were not his. He was surprised enough to see Robin not do the same that he lowered the blade. Robin was never one to back away from a fight, especially one he could have fought whilst half asleep. That he merely stood there with his hands down by his sides and an expression of gravity on his face that bespoke truly dire things was remarkable enough that Montgomery resheathed his blade before he thought better of it. "What are you talking about?" Montgomery asked. Robin paused, considered, then dug his heels in and said nothing. Montgomery cursed his brother silently. No sense in provoking him unnecessarily. He then turned back around to get back to the business of rescuing, the lass who had appeared in front of him as if from a dream, only to find her, and the magic that had accompanied her, gone. Montgomery knew he shouldn't have been surprised, but he found himself gaping just the same. Unfortunately, all the protesting he could muster wasn't going to change the fact that the ground before him was now nothing more than what it should have been. The sparkling air that had hovered over it had dissipated. Of the beauty he'd seen, there was no sign. Obviously, Fairy had reclaimed her own. He shivered in spite of himself. "Montgomery, let us return home." Montgomery took a moment to suppress the urge to run his brother through, for interrupting what he was quite certain had been a singular opportunity to have a fairy for himself, unclenched his hands lest he be overly tempted to use them instead of his sword to teach his brother manners, then took a deep breath. Obviously, Robin knew more than he was letting on. The least he could do was divulge a few of those secrets. Montgomery turned around and looked at his brother. "What lies there in that spot?" "Nothing," Robin said with a shrug. "Robin, I am no longer a child." "I never said you were." He nodded toward the keep. "Let's be off. There are surely things enough inside to hold our interest." "You're not answering my question." "I'm not," Robin agreed seriously. "I have nothing at all to do with that spot of ground, so on its particulars I will remain prudently silent." "Should I ask?" "Cease," Robin interrupted sharply. He chewed on his words for a moment or two, then shook his head, as if he found the thought of uttering them unpalatable. He slung his arm around Montgomery's shoulders. "I am not the one to be asking, brother, and if you want my advice, you'll not look for others to pose your questions to. Bide your time and keep your mouth shut." He nodded knowingly. "'Tis what a virtuous knight would do." Montgomery started to protest, then reconsidered. The truth was, what he wanted more than anything was to be a virtuous knight, the sort of lad who would meet with the approval of not only his father, but his 4 elder brothers, no matter the difficulty of the task set before him. He supposed he might spend a moment or two now and again regretting that. "Let's go train," Robin suggested. "That will occupy our morning quite well, don't you think?" Montgomery nodded. For the second thing he wanted, after being considered the sort of honorable knight his father would admire, was to be the same sort of swordsman his elder brothers were. If Robin was willing to indulge him now in the lists, he wasn't going to refuse. "In fact," Robin added, "I think you might be worth my full attention and scrutiny for the next few months, especially if you can keep your mouth shut about things I'm certain you didn't just see. What think you?" Montgomery stifled the urge to drop to his knees and kiss Robin's dung-encrusted boots. Robin was notoriously choosy about the lads he trained, so to be thus singled out was indeed an honor worthy of a bit of discretion. Though he couldn't help one final foray into things likely better left alone. That girl with the long, trailing masses of relentlessly curling dark